So I decided I was going to keep searching or die trying. And this is a poem I wrote during those dark days. I don't know if it's a good poem, but it meant a lot to me. I thought it was profound. And it's called The Loner. Silence is his friend, loneliness his brother. His ways are like the wind. He will touch but won't be tied to another. He feels without touching. His smile is in his eyes. It's hard to cling to nothing, much easier to grasp a lie. No answers to his endless quest, no solace only thoughts can test. No road can lead his soul to rest, save the silent path of death. And what I didn't know at the time when I wrote that, I was in this deep, deep despair. Everything was so black and gray, and I was so cynical. I didn't trust anyone. I figured everyone had an ulterior motive and angle. But it was out of this place of darkness and brokenness and deconstruction means where you just start to pull apart all the pieces of your life and to see, like, how do I work this? What is this doing here? Why is this part of my value system? And so I basically deconstructed my life to the best of my ability, almost like taking a whiteboard of everything I believed, all my truth, all my values, all my inherited beliefs, and I just tried to wipe it clean. And I know none of us can do that completely, but to the best of my ability, I just went through and tried to get rid of all those sort of presuppositions in my life. I wanted to start with like clean eyes. And I know you can't do that, but I did my best. But it was out of this place of brokenness that I heard God call my name. And I might share some of that in more detail with you tomorrow if you ask me about my testimony tomorrow. But suffice it to say, I was in a place of complete doubt. And just like that, it was through years of struggle and darkness. It was not through my own efforts, through my own reason, through my own ignorance, but out of my darkness, out of my despair, God reached down and he planted the seed of faith into my heart. And one moment I didn't believe in God, and especially Jesus, and the next moment I did, and I believed in him ever since. And that's why I make such a big emphasis, like Augustine, that it's the gift of God, because I did everything in my power, intellectually, physically, mentally, spiritually, to try to pull God out of the heavens, and I couldn't. And it took God reaching down and giving me that belief. And that belief that I had kind of inherited as a child and took for granted now became my most valuable possession. This belief did not come through my heritage, truth-seeking, devotion, or reason. It was like a seed planted in the depths of my very being that gave me absolute peace and assurance that Jesus was God, and he gave himself as an atoning sacrifice for me. And atoning, that's a big Christianese word we use, but it literally means Jesus paid the price of my sin, the debt of my sin, which was death. This seed of faith became my most precious possession, and I have never doubted God's existence or providence since that day. What started as a simple belief in God and his love for me has grown into a tree of faith. And that's all I believed in. I believed in God and that Jesus was his son and God in the flesh. That's all I believed. I didn't believe in the Bible. I didn't believe in the church. I didn't believe in other people. All I believed in was God and Jesus, but that was the seed. And then from that, it's grown just like a tree every year. And it goes through seasons. And one of your staff was telling me you had a speaker talk about our spiritual life is like a season. And that's so true. Sometimes our tree is like full of fruit and we're able to bless others. We can provide shade and shelter. And others times we feel like we just don't have strength. We're losing our leaves. Winter comes on. We feel barren. And then spring comes again and there's blossoms and blooms and new life and new growth. And the spiritual life is like that. It oscillates. It goes through these different cycles and seasons. The difference, however, is even in the depths of my most wintry times in my life, I've never felt forsaken or abandoned by God. Those roots still run deep.